Economy in second quarter contracted by 7.5%, pushing India in the grip of recession officially after the first quarter slump of 24%. We expect recovery to strengthen, helped by continued normalization in economic activity as incoming COVID-19 data remain benign and we do not require large-scale shutting down. The next two quarters are predicted for a slump of 3% and 0.5% respectively by various institutes, but we are hopeful that the actual results would be positive and we would see positive jump in the economy. Vyapt Global Growth Series sees the next two quarters as huge recovery opportunity as we see majority of sectors performing at levels of over 80% pre-COVID conditions. Our narrative of growth is helping humanity gain actual insights of business progress and performance, thus hoping for brighter days ahead. In our growth series today, we have with us Mr. Pawan Kumar Gupta, who is the CEO at Muthoot Housing Finance Company Limited. Pawan, with over 2 decades of experience, has been instrumental in his contribution. Welcome to Vyapt Global Growth Series, Pawan.
Thank you very much, Pankaj. Very happy to be a part of this show. And I think this is an excellent initiative in these present times, which you have undertaken, wherein very important that positivity is spread. And of course, talking to the various industry leaders, I have seen your earlier videos where you really get to know what's happening at the ground. So good, very good initiative. Keep it on.
Thanks, Pawan. We appreciate your thoughts. And we start with our first curiosity. And our first curiosity is we are aware of the happenings in the world and businesses in the last 2 quarters, where we have also witnessed a slump in economies. But what are the opportunities, if any, this crisis has created for your industry?
Yeah, very nice question. Let me tell you, with every challenges, with every crisis, there are a lot of opportunity which comes up. So has been the situation now. This particular pandemic was something which was unprecedented. I believe that in our people of our generation had never seen such sort of thing and never expected something like this to happen. So it took some time for all of us to fathom the situation and understand the way forward, because people were adapting to this pandemic very, very fast, right? If I talk specifically about our industry, I basically deal with housing finance and more so on the affordable housing finance side, right? Here, what we saw is that we have a lot of physical interaction with the customer. The fact that we deal with the informal customer, we have to do a lot of field visits, etc., etc., and a lot of documents also has to be informally checked. What we found is that this pandemic taught us that many of the things which we thought be done offline or could not be done digitally, we realized that we can do that. So digitization was one of the key learnings out of it. So some things which would have happened 2 years hence, probably they got preponed. The various other technological integration and development. This was one of the major learnings. Second thing, what we found was that remote learning, some of our functions could work remotely also, which we did in the last few months. Coming to the office was a must. So that is another learning, wherein we found that the productivity of the employees went up because they didn't spend much time on traveling, going back to the office and coming back home. We also found that because of this, a lot of people went back to their homes in the smaller cities. So there was a reverse migration to the smaller cities, and many of the companies, particularly software companies, etc., they are fine with people working in this part of the country, operating out of their home. So that again has opened up big opportunities for us at the smaller towns, which already existed, but I would say this has further propelled the demand over there. That some geographical realignment is happening in our sourcing of our business. What we see is that the cities where a lot of migrant people were there, there was a lot of outflux from there, and now we realize that our concentration should be more in those part of the country where people are from those local places. Otherwise we face collection challenges, right? Similarly, on the collection front, which was lot of to do with the cash collection in the informal segment, this pandemic taught us that these people also can pay digitally. So that was another big opportunity, and we hope to sustain that in the days ahead.
So a lot of opportunity in place for your industry, primarily into the housing segment, that is affordable housing segment. So when you are so confident about the kind of things which is happening, how do you see the growth prospects of the industry in the next 2 quarters in India, and what are the transformations required to leverage the changing landscape?
So Pankaj, roti, kapda and makan, these have been the basic needs of human being, right? And with the in the last few years, with the government initiative for housing for all, which was announced in 2015. So if you see there, what has really led to a huge demand for housing, it is the nuclearization of the family, urbanization happening, people want affordability of people improving. Many other factors have led to a huge spurt in demand for housing, right? It has been very proactive, and they launched housing for all scheme in 2015, wherein the is that by 2022 every Indian should have its own home, right? So all these things have contributed significantly in the demand, and 95% of the demand or housing shortage is in the EWS and LIG segment. That means people having an annual income of less than 6 lakhs. So our country primarily having large part of the population in that income segment, right? What we have, so with these things happening, we see a lot of demand which was being created. Earlier there were supply constraints, so government took a lot of initiatives, gave a lot of fiscal incentives to the developers to make projects, right? We found subsidy scheme, PMAY coming in, different subsidy scheme. The one which mattered to the people more was the construction linked subsidy scheme and the CLSS, credit linked subsidy scheme, wherein a customer can get subsidy up to 2.67 lakhs. The demand. And if we see now, just a few days back, government has made an additional allocation of 18,000 crore rupees towards the CLSS scheme. So this is again big impetus. A lot of other fiscal incentives have been announced by the central government and the state governments. Like Maharashtra government has announced a reduction in the stamp duty for a limited period of time. They have reduced it to 2%. So all these things are actually helping the cause. It has led to a spurt in demand because people realize that the prices right now are quite affordable. The builders are sell, they want to come back to cash, right? There are ready-built properties, and from here on things are getting better as we see month on month, and it will get better. So property prices are related to the sentiments. So we see a lot of people buying properties, and in the next 2 months, next 2 quarters, I see markets coming back to the pre-COVID levels for sure.
Which is also predicted by various economists. So you rightly talked about the kind of growth we are going to see, and you are so optimistic about the kind of growth which would also be there in the affordable housing segment, because they form the basis of our pyramid, or maybe the lower portion of our pyramid. So when you are so confident about the kind of opportunities and growth in the affordable housing segment, what are the job prospect would this growth and opportunity create, not only in your industry, because when you finance money, there are different industries which get benefits out of it, which forms a larger or an extended part of your own industry. So if you can share some light on that, that would be great.
So Pankaj, finance is the oil of the economy, right? So without money, nothing works. And we have seen in the past, post ILFS crisis, etc., when there was a risk aversion, credit crunch came in, and it had impacted one and all. The same thing happened during demonetization, etc. So finance is the backbone or the oil of the, like the way we talk, data is the oil. I believe finance, money is also the oil for an economy to go on. Uh, See, real estate sector is the second largest employer in the country after agriculture. And why I say so is that if you see there are close to 252 industries which are directly or indirectly linked to the real estate sector, right? You have people making bricks, supplying sand, so many of them. As I said, it could be even more than 250. All sectors employ large number of informal people, even in the real estate sector, and that is what India really needs, because the the number of people who are there who need an informal employment, that is needed, and that is what will make the economy going, because you can't have a large part of your population going hungry and not able to spend.
True.
So forward and backward integration, if uh, it is going to significantly contribute. And as I just mentioned, that in the next 2 quarters, I see real estate coming back to the pre-COVID levels, right? And this momentum, I am of the view and belief that this momentum would continue and take us to the next levels because of the few reasons, like government really wants to push, and if something government really wants to do it, it will happen, right? It is a basic need of a human being. Thirdly, there is easy availability of finance to own a home, and there are various credit linked subsidy schemes which people get, and the affordability index right now is the best. The property prices have come down, and people income may have also come down, but the various survey we find that the affordability index has moved up. So that means that people will be able to buy better properties or with the income what they have. All these things contribute to generating a lot of employment. Coming to my sector, so I spoke about the real estate and the allied industry. In the sector, obviously, when these people, when the real estate does well, there will be more of financing need. I will need more people in sales, or other organization like us will need people in sales, more people in credit and other functions. So I am firmly of a view that days ahead will be great for each and everybody. Huge employment opportunities are there, and so many new things are coming up every day. Something or the other, whether in our industry or something, is leading to more and more of opportunities and employment. Net, every challenges come out with a lot of opportunities, and it comes with a lot of vigor. So we all need to have a positive frame of mind, and we will see great days in the days ahead.
So the next 2 quarters, we are going to see a lot of good job prospects coming in, both for formal and informal segment. And you talked about that. Definitely, your industry is one of the backbone of various industries, and your extended arm is doing good. If I talk of this quarter and the quarter to come, that's that's there. My fourth curiosity has to do with more of you as a leader. Is how do we ensure that our desire to grow remains untouched even in the toughest circumstances?
Very interesting. I think, Pankaj, that is what makes the difference. That is what leaders do, right? When tough time comes, that is the time when they take that as an opportunity. And there are many people, common people, who take that as a challenge and just let that overcome themselves, right? Uh, any successful person, I believe, he had that quality of keeping himself untouched in the challenging environment, and that is why he is where he is. and I believe I am also one of them, right? So I came from a very humble family, and it took a long time to come here. I was a very ordinary student from an ordinary family. Trust me, in those days, never did I believe, neither did my parents believe that I could be that successful what I am today, right?
Mhm.
But you see, what happens is you have to take things step by step. Thinking 20 years hence from here or 10-year hence, I believe doesn't work, right? Because that's a long journey. So what I have always done in my life is that I have taken small steps. I have always tried to compete with myself rather than competing with anybody else, because I know my strengths, I know my limitations, right? I know what others have strength or limitations. So every day, every month, I try to better myself. In this process, whether it was on an academic front or a professional front, I kept bettering and doing better each day. I believe that we achieve what we believe we can achieve, and that is what is very important. That we think right, and thinking right or wrong is something which is absolutely dependent on ourselves, right? Nobody else can do anything about it. The difference between different people is because of the fact that how do we keep our thinking process on, and on what areas do we keep our thought process, and in what frame of mind. So I have always kept my thought process very simple,
Mhm.
uh, uncomplicated, uh, natural, and kept small targets, which has led to where I am today, right? I always trust in myself, I always trust in God, and I always keep praying that people around me are always safe and happy,
Mhm.
because that is what is going to be the enabler or create a proper environment for one to do well.
Mhm.
And has been extremely kind in providing whatever I just said. So
Mhm.
I would request, or I would tell all my listeners right now that uh, don't peep into the future too much. Live in the present, take every day as it's come, keep short-term targets. uh, don't worry, everything happens for the good. Only thing is we realize maybe down the line that okay, that happened for good, right? So keep that positive frame of mind, and rest we are done. So I have I feel very happy with whatever success I have achieved in my life. uh, I have absolutely no regrets, and I'm sure till the last day of my life, I will never have regrets, and I will keep doing what I feel are better for me and for the people at large.
So we heard Pawan talking about that we should take smaller steps in life, take one step at a time, and always believe in yourself. Ensure that present is something which we live in, and that is something we live at the fullest. Ensuring that the future is going to be good. Never be too dependent on long-term journey in terms of talking about what is going to be in 10 years from now in your life, because what you take baby steps is going to define what is going to happen in 10 years from now. Thank you so much, Pawan, for your mind and heart talks. It was great interacting with you in Vyapt Global Growth Series.
Thank you, Pankaj. I too enjoyed having this discussion and sharing my thoughts, and I hope your viewers can get some positivity out of the discussion what we had. So I thank you and thank everybody and wish all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pawan.